Remember, in this league format, it's points awarded based on where the players finish in each fixture of the 12-match season. After the 12-game season, it depends, will you go forward or go home? And right now, Helmuth and Eddie Scharf in very good form. For Andy Black and Ian Fraser, tonight's about putting points on the board. But what about Tony G and the Devilfish? They're in the relegation zone, and is tonight do or die? Godzilla takes on the Titanic tonight. This heat has everything set up for it. And Roland, obviously everybody looking at the match between the Devilfish and Phil Helmuth, who have been going at it like gangbusters. Helmuth knocked out first the last time he played.
Helmuth started off winning the first 3 that he played. That's very impressive. And now he's come back with 0 points, and him and the Fish will at each other's throats the whole time. This is going to be bombastic tonight.
I was tipping this guy $40 for setting the limo up. And the limo wasn't there, so I said, let me wait till it gets here. I didn't want to tip him, have him walk away.
Everyone's looking forward to this one. 3 of the loudest and most respected players in the game at the table. Raised to 6,000 by Helmuth. Scharf is going to need earplugs before this one's over. Look at that. Helmuth on his right, Tony G on his left.
Oh. Can't help it, huh, Tony?
No.
Tony G's called. We're going to see a flop.
There's too much value to resist.
Plus, I mean, you can always bluff me like Fish did every pot, right?
How come I've gone from fishy to fish? I mean, fishy was quite friendly.
Check.
They've both missed. Will Helmuth fire?
Check. I don't think I have any of that. I better just check.
Check.
Give him a free card.
He's in a great mood
Give me a
today.
free card. Because I have my usual nothing over here.
You're both getting a free card.
7.
It's starting to set up like yesterday. I kept picking up the ace kings and ace queens. He probably bluffed me. He might have like the 10 jack.
I guarantee we showed him the jack. What do you think?
You see, Tony G did nothing wrong there, but I have to criticize Helmuth's play. He didn't bet the flop, and he missed a chance. He was doing that a lot last week.
That's the strategy I took against Fish yesterday, is I was going to let him bluff me a couple times. I intentionally decided to do that. Everybody's going to bust themselves at the 3,000-6,000 level. I'll just sit here and only play premium hands. How hard is that?
You can see Phil has a lot of confidence from the fact that he's 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League.
Pass.
But Roland, if Phil does go out first again, he'll start to look much more human in this table, won't he? I mean,
he'd also lose the momentum, and it's possible that the other players will gain confidence. He's also got to remember that the format of this competition means that points gained in the league equal chips in the final.
Yeah, he needs to work on that. And the Fish, calling on the big blind, has hit a massive flop.
Check. 4.
Is this flop so big he doesn't want to raise?
You hit the flop that big, or did you miss it on?
I think it's big. It's big enough for him that he can take a free card, especially with Tony G.
Call.
It's a bit dicey now, isn't it?
It's a bad card for Dave Elliott, but he's still going to be pretty confident he has the best hand.
Check.
Tony G's liable to fire twice,
Check.
but wisely decides to check behind him. A king would be a hammer blow for Elliott.
There's another queen ball.
What kind of bet is that?
7.
That's a defensive bet. Now, if Tony G had any part of the flop, Dave isn't winning. He doesn't know that Tony only has a 10 jack. What's going through Tony's mind right now is, can I get Dave off this hand?
If you call me, it'll probably be a split pot.
If he's going to call, he really should raise, shouldn't he?
Well, there's a chance that the board is good. 2 pairs with the ace kicker. So he can call. Tony G is really convincing himself in his head to call here. He loves to call, Tony G.
They play these hands so crafty, Roland, everyone in this field, that it gets to a point where a guy is either bluffing or he's got the nuts.
Split pot?
It does. Sometimes it looks like if they don't have the great hand that they're representing, they really are going to have nothing, and a queen high can be good. Here, Tony's calling for half, if he's calling. In Australia, to win is good, but to not be bluffed is better, it seems.
I mean, hasn't Tony taken so long now that he really can't raise?
He definitely can't raise after this delay, but he can call.
Oh.
That's what he's done.
Want a bad flop for my hand.
Tiger.
Want a bad
You
flop.
see, in
no
Australia,
flush draw on
it's
top.
one thing winning money in poker, but not to be
Don't mess
bluffed is the
around.
key.
Don't mess around
Tony
with
G
the boys.
is a calling station.
Pride cometh before money.
By the way, I had looked at my hand.
Tony G is a real calling station. He didn't come out today to be bluffed. He never comes out to be bluffed. This is a man who does not like to pass hands. And he's just showed that by calling with the board.
I want to beat people, especially if they're big names.
Yours was a brilliant move with the 5-7 button.
I admit I played bad. I mean, you're going to keep bringing up the same thing? I admit it. You don't. Everybody watching knows you was a terrible stack off with the ace queen.
I just said
they're going to
that.
go back and they're going to look at the TiVo, they're going to say, what was the fish
I
thinking?
just said
and you
that.
defend
I
it to the
just said
lights.
that it's only because it was
You
against
defend it
Tony
to the
G.
sun. You're shouting at the sun, but you're wrong. And if you keep looking up at the sun shouting the wrongness, your eyes are going
You
to
know,
start
if you
hurting.
carry on like this, they're going to make you play in a straight check. You know that. You won't be able to get your chips.
Your eyes are going to start
You're going to
hurting.
have to push your chips in with that big head of yours.
Fish, your eyes are going to start hurting.
Roland, who's got the better of this one?
Big blind out.
I think this is 10 points each in this round.
It's
just so entertaining.
With a straight check and pushing his chips in with his head. And trying to talk at the same time.
Call.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Raise to 7.
Helmuth wishes that now that he had been a little more steamed up at the end of that one, doesn't he?
I think he
Thrilled.
wishes really that Dave Villiers or someone will
Us.
find a hand to do something with.
Oh, God.
Tony Guagua is in.
Got a bad feeling about it.
House.
Wow.
House.
You know, that's a couple times,
Mr. Man always got a hand too.
Roland, we've seen Tony G
Somebody
make
puts
some
me on a
great
hand.
folds
No, this
before the
time.
flop. That was class, wasn't it?
I don't know if he picked out something from Helmuth, but that's a side of Tony G that we've seen a couple of times, and it gets overlooked in the bluster of his game, but he can fold for small amounts pre-flop, and that was an excellent fold with ace
I
queen
might
there.
get lucky and get a flop. Then I'm going to get a lot of money. If you have got an overpair.
It's only 6,000 on the fish.
And I guess we can afford the money. But I don't like it.
Jeez, you get the feeling Helmuth's cards are face up.
Might have put my money
Fraser's
in
gonna
there, and he might
feel.
have been going to kick it up a notch.
2 aces left in the deck. He wants to hit one of the hearts. An 8 high flop could bring trouble.
Close.
Check. Check.
Check it.
Was that a dangerous check by Phil, or is that...
I think it was an excellent trap by Phil. He's
8.
he's lulled someone with a smaller pair into a full sense of security.
Phil Helmuth? He was the youngest ever world champion. He has a record number of bracelets. He has to be the first Premier League champion.
Another big ace. I don't even mind if you bluff me. See, I don't even care today. It's all right. I had a bad feeling this time.
House.
If you call me to bluff me, I invite you.
Raise to 6. House. House.
I invite you.
This is the first time Black has raised, and why is Helmuth calling? Black has such a tight image.
Helmuth fancies himself as a better flop player, and with a hand such as 7-8 suited, if he hits big, he could get a lot of chips. If Andy Black has an overpair, and Eddie Scharf wants in 2, again with Queen 10. Not a player I particularly like.
Check.
Helmuth checking in the dark again. Scharf will wait to see the flop.